Drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
Hello students, my name is Niyati Seth and thanks for watching Edupedia Word videos. We will continue to discuss about cell organelles in eukaryotic cells. In my previous section of the presentation, I have already taught you about cell membrane or plasma membrane. They both are same, okay? Now we will discuss about the cell wall. Students, as you may recall, a non-living rigid structure found which is called as cell wall. It is formed as an outer covering for plasma membrane of fungi and plants, students. Okay, so cell wall, this is cell wall, the outer covering, okay, which is adjacent to plasma membrane. This is plasma membrane, students. Okay, so it is a non-living rigid structure which is found outer to the plasma membrane of fungi and plants. Cell wall of algae is made up of cellulose, galactins, mannins and minerals like CaCO3. Cell wall, it not only gives shape to the cell and it protects the cell from mechanical damage and infection. As you can see that it tightly adheres with the other cells. So that's the reason it provides strength to the cell. It gives shape to the cell and it protects the cell from mechanical damage and infection. Okay, it is, or you can say it also helps in cell-to-cell interaction and it provides barrier to the undesirable macromolecule. That means it is it acts as a barrier to certain macromolecules that it will not allow macromolecule to move in or out of the cell. So this cell, it also helps in cell-to-cell interaction. Okay, and it also provides barrier to undesirable macromolecules. In other plant, it consists of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin and proteins. Okay, and in case of algae, it is made up of cellulose, galactins, mannins and mineral like CaCO3. Okay, so by now you can say that cell wall, it is very tough. It is rigid layer that surrounds some type of cells. More specifically, plant cell or fungi or algae and some archaea also. It is located outside the cell membrane. See, this orange line is representing cell membrane and this green is representing cell wall, students. Okay, so it is located outside the cell membrane and the major function of a cell wall is to provide rigidity, tensile strength, structural support, protection against mechanical stress and infection. It also aids in diffusion of gases in and out of the cell. Okay, it helps in diffusion of gases in and out of the cell. Cell wall composition, it varies from species to species and it also depends on the developing stage of the organism. Protozoans and animals, they do not have cell wall. Please note that. Protozoans and animals, they do not have cell wall, students. And cell wall of algae, it is made up of cellulose, galactins, mannins and mineral like CaCO3. On contrary to it, in plants, it consists of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin and protein, students. Okay. Robert Hooke in 1678, he discovered cell wall. See, this is cell wall and it was discovered by Robert Hooke in year 1678 while observing a thin section of cork. Okay. Cell wall of young plant cell which we commonly call it as primary wall, it is capable of growth. It gradually diminishes as the cell matures, and secondary wall is formed on inner side towards the membrane. Okay, so see, this is plant cell wall structure. This is middle lamella. Middle lamella is a connecting link between two cells. It connects two cell walls with each other. Okay, and this is primary cell wall, and this is plasma membrane, which is lying just adjacent to the primary cell wall. Okay, so cell wall of young plant cell, which we commonly call it as primary wall, is capable of growth. It gradually diminishes as the cell matures, and secondary wall is formed on inner side, but that too towards the membrane. See, this is the membrane. So secondary wall is formed towards the inner side or towards the plasma membrane. Okay, then comes middle lamella. See, this is middle lamella. Okay, so it is a layer that is composed of calcium pactate. It glues the different neighboring cells together. That means it concretes two cells together. Okay, so middle lamella is a connecting link between two cells. The cell wall and middle lamella may be traversed by plasmodesmata, which connect the cytoplasm of neighboring cells. That means plasmodesmata is something that connects the cytoplasm of neighboring cells. So cell wall and middle lamella may be traversed by plasmodesmata. And what does plasmodesmata do? It connects the cytoplasm of neighboring cells, students. Okay, so plant cell wall, it consists of three layers: primary cell wall, secondary cell wall, and middle lamella. See, this is middle lamella, this is primary cell wall, this is plasma membrane. So middle lamella, it is the first layer which is formed during cell division. This layer, it is rich in pectin. It is outermost layer. Okay, so as you can see that this is the outermost layer, and this layer is rich in pectin. Okay, more specifically, it is composed of calcium pactate. That's why it is rich in pectin, students. And it is the first layer which is formed during cell division. Please note that. And it is the outermost layer that joins together adjacent plant cells and holds them together or glues them together. Okay. Then comes primary cell wall. See, this is primary cell wall. Okay, it is formed just after the middle lamella. It is composed of pectin compounds, hemicellulose, and glycoproteins. The layer consists of framework of cellulose microfibrils in a gel-like matrix. It is thin, flexible, and extensible layer. Okay. So this was about the primary cell wall, that it is formed just after middle lamella. See, this is the outermost layer, and this is the layer which is just adjacent to the middle lamella layer. So it is composed of pectin compounds just like middle lamella. As I taught you that middle lamella is composed of calcium pactate. So primary cell wall, it is also composed of pectin compounds, hemicellulose, and glycoproteins. The layer consists of framework of cellulose microfibrils. See, these are the microfibrils. Okay, and it consists of framework of cellulose microfibrils in a gel-like matrix, and it is thin, flexible, and extensible layer. Okay. Then comes secondary cell wall, students. It is a thick layer which is formed inside the primary cell wall. Okay, it is a thick layer which is formed inside primary cell wall. That means secondary wall is formed inside primary cell wall. So that's why it is not shown here. Okay, and it is extremely rigid, and it provides tensile strength to the cell. It is composed of cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. On contrary to it, primary cell wall consists of pectin compounds, hemicellulose, and glycoprotein. I hope all three layers of plant cell wall is clear to you now. Primary cell wall, secondary cell wall and middle lamella. Okay. And students, please note that cell wall of young plant cell, that is primary cell wall, is capable of growth, which gradually diminishes as the cell matures. And secondary wall, which we have just talked about, it is formed on inner or towards the membrane side of the cell. Then middle lamella, it is a layer which is mainly consists of calcium pectate, which holds or glues the different neighboring cells together. Okay, because this is the outermost layer, that's why it holds or glues together the two cells. Okay, so this was about the three layers of plant cell: primary cell wall, secondary cell wall and middle lamella. The outer part of primary cell wall of plant epidermis, it usually forms a permeability barrier and is known as plant cuticle. What it is called as? It is called as plant cuticle because it forms a permeability barrier between the outer part of the primary cell wall of plant epidermis and to the outer world. Then secondary cell wall, it contains cellulose, xylem and lignin too. Cellulose, hemicellulose, xylem and lignin. These are the components of secondary cell wall. Plant cell wall also contain enzymes like hydrolysis, esterases, peroxidases and transglycolases, and it also contains structural proteins and silica crystals. Okay. Now, what are the cell functions? It gives cell a definite shape and structure. Cell wall not only gives shape to the cell, but it also protects the cell from mechanical damage and infection. It also provides it also helps in cell-to-cell interaction, and it provides barrier to undesirable macromolecules. It helps in protection against infection and mechanical stress. It separates interior of the cell from outer environment. That means nucleus, mitochondria, plastids, vacuoles, these are the cell organelles and it is present interior of the cell. So cell wall, see this is the cell wall, okay. Cell wall, it separates interior of the cell from the outer environment. It enables transport of substances and information through plasmodesmata that acts as a connecting link between two cells from cell inside to the exterior, or it could be vice versa also. That means from outside to the inside. It enables transport of substances and information. Information, that means hormones. Okay. It also helps in osmotic regulation also, students. It prevents cell or water loss. It helps in cell-to-cell communication also. The physiological and biochemical activity of cell wall, it helps in cell-to-cell communication. It prevents the cell from rupturing due to turgor pressure. That means when most of the water gets ingested inside the cell, then turgor pressure arises. So it prevents the cell from rupturing due to turgor pressure because it provides a tensile strength to the cell. It helps in diffusion of gases in and out of the cell. It also provides mechanical protection from insects and pathogens. Okay? So these are the main functions of cell wall. that it gives a definite shape, it provides structural support, it protects against infection and mechanical distress, it separates interior of the cell from outer environment, it enables transport of substances and information from cell inside to the exterior, and it prevents water loss. That means if in the case of drought and all, it prevents the water loss. Okay, and it helps in cell to cell communication, it prevents cell from rupturing due to turgor pressure. Okay, so these are the main functions of plant cell wall, and it also allows plant to grow to greater heights. It prevents over expansion caused by too much water also. And it provides support and limited plasticity also, students. This is one of the most important function of cell wall, that it provides support and it also provides limited plasticity to the cell. And I have taught you about the plasmodesmata, student, that it connects link between the two cells. So there are the holes all over the cell wall, which we call it as plasmodesmata. Okay, in the cell wall the small holes are present, which we call it as plasmodesmata, and these are the holes that allow for nutrients to enter the cell as well as waste to exit the cell. These small holes can cause the cell to lose water, and this is when plant will start to droop. But as soon as plant can drink or get a drink, it will bounce right back to its proper shape. So that's the main function, that it provides a definite shape and a structure to the cell. And it also provides mechanical protection from insects and pathogens. Now let's study about the fungi cell wall. See, this is the typical fungi cell. This is the fungi cell wall. This is the nucleus. This is the endoplasmic reticulum, which is denoted by ER. This is Golgi apparatus. These are mitochondria. This is vacuole. This is the cytoplasm or cytosol. This is peroxisome. This is periplasm. And this is plasma membrane. So plasma membrane, between plasma membrane and cell wall, the space present, which we call it as periplasm. Okay, so this was about the fungi cell. Fungi cell wall, it consists of chitin and other polysaccharides. They do not have cellulose in their cell wall, students. Please note that cellulose is only present in plant cell. It is a unique characteristic which is present in plant cell. Cellulose doesn't or do not have or you can say fungi cell wall, they do not have cellulose in their cell walls. A species of fungi that possess a cell wall have a plasma membrane and 3 layers of cell wall material surrounding it. These layers, they are made up of chitin, glucans and layer of manoproteins. Manoproteins are what? They are manose containing glycoproteins. Okay. So by now it is clear to you that fungi cell wall, it consists of chitin and other polysaccharides, but not cellulose. Cellulose is a unique characteristic of plant cell wall. And a species of fungi that possess cell wall have a plasma membrane. See, plasma membrane is present in fungi cell and 3 layers of cell wall material surrounding to it. These layers, they are made up of chitin, glucans and layer of manoproteins. So I hope a fungi cell wall is clear to you now. Let's talk about bacterial cell wall. Cell wall of bacteria, it is broadly classified into 2 types. I have already taught you in detail in my previous section of the presentation. So for better understanding, you can refer to those presentation. So cell wall of bacteria, it is broadly classified into 2 types. First is gram positive and second is gram negative. The names, they are given to the reaction of cells to gram staining. Christian Gram was the name of the scientist who did staining on cell wall of bacteria, and on the basis of that they classified bacterial cell wall into two types, gram positive and gram negative. So this experiment, it is employed for the classification of bacterial species. Gram positive bacteria, they have thick cell wall. Positive bacteria means thick cell wall. This way you can memorize it, and it is made up of many layers of peptidoglycan and teichoic acid. See, this is gram positive bacteria. This is plasma membrane. The green layer is plasma membrane. This is blue is periplasmic space. Periplasmic space is a space between cell wall and plasma membrane. Okay, and this is peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is a characteristic of cell wall of bacteria. Okay, so this is gram positive bacteria. They have thick cell wall, and it is made up of many layers of peptidoglycan and teichoic acid. Along with the peptidoglycan, teichoic acid is also present in the cell wall of bacteria. To be more precise, gram positive bacteria. Then comes gram negative bacteria. They have thinner cell wall and is made up of few layers of peptidoglycan and is surrounded by lipid membrane containing lipopolysaccharide and lipoprotein. See, this is gram negative bacteria. This is green layer is representing plasma membrane. Then this is periplasmic space. Then this is peptidoglycan, the red one, and this is outer membrane, which is made up of lipopolysaccharides and protein. And the outer layer is this one, which is made up of lipopolysaccharides and protein. So a gram negative bacteria, they have thinner cell wall. Okay, see, this is the cell wall, the red one. They have very thinner cell wall, and it is made up of few layers of peptidoglycan but not teichoic acid, and it is surrounded by lipid membrane. As you can see that this is lipid membrane, which is made up of lipopolysaccharides and protein. So this was about the bacterial cell wall. To be more precise, about the gram positive and gram negative. Okay, in which we saw that gram positive bacteria, they have thick cell wall, and it is made up of many layers of peptidoglycan and teichoic acid. And in gram negative bacteria, no teichoic acid is present in the cell wall, only peptidoglycan is present, and it is surrounded by lipid membrane, which we call it as outer membrane, and that consists of lipopolysaccharides and protein. And between cell wall, which is represented by this red color, and outer membrane, there's a space present which we call it as periplasmic space. Okay, so this was about bacterial cell wall, and this was all about cell wall. In my next section of the presentation, we will discuss about the third cell organelle, which is present in eukaryotes or eukaryotic cell, and that is mitochondria. So till then, stay tuned and keep watching Edupedia word videos. Thank you.